Common Knowledge is brought to you by PureMTGO.com and InkedGaming.com. Use coupon code CCMTG10 at checkout for a 10% discount on all Inked Gaming supplies and accessories. You can support the show directly through Patreon at patreon.com/common knowledge.
This is the Common Knowledge Podcast. It's not about the cost, it's about the knowledge. Here are your hosts, Brandon Clark and Lauber.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 46 of the Common Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Clark, and joined with me is the mighty Sean Malobert.
What's up, man?
What's up? How you living, bruh?
Things are going great. Yeah, work's going good. Magic feels good. Everything's good.
Right on. Yeah, same. I'm good. I don't know. I'm really excited about Magic because I don't know. It just feels like a lot of good stuff happened all at once, and I feel great about Magic. And I finally downloaded Magic Arena, and that's just a blast. That's like the funnest I've had playing Magic in a long time.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is so fun. Because you get that cool Hearthstone experience without having to play a crappy game like Hearthstone. So
I keep getting told, like, oh, I have beta keys, you need to try it. And I'm like,
well, you don't even need a beta key. It's open beta.
Yeah, now it's open beta, and everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
you should play it. And I'm like, nah.
I mean,
nobody got time for that.
You can't play Pauper, but I don't know. It kind of feels like you're playing Pauper when you start out because they give you like 5 constructed decks or whatever, and they're just incredibly simple. Maybe just playing limited. That's more what it feels like. It feels more like playing limited when you kind of first start out, at least for me so far. But I like it. I like playing limited. So
I'll get to it one day, but I'm strapped for time most of the time, and I just want to play Pauper constantly all the time.
You can play Pauper, but it's different Pauper because it's standard only Pauper. So very different.
I could probably brew something kind of nuts in there, but don't wanna
do it. Boom, baka, boom. Well, anyway, in case you haven't figured it out by now, we're a Pauper podcast, and we talk about all the Pauper things. And today we've got a cool episode because Wizards of the Coast dropped a huge announcement on our heads, and we're going to go over that, and we're going to talk about that announcement and what it means for Pauper as a format, specifically as a competitive Magic format.
Yeah, and I'm going to be learning along with you guys because I was at work all day and not reading this. Brandon sent me like a link, and my coworker was like super jazzed to tell me, and I was like, I have so many things to do at work, I can't. So I'm going to be asking as many questions as I can, really.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool show, so strap in. There's a ton of stuff to unpack with this announcement, and I'm excited to get into it. But first, we have to do all our other stuff. So, what are we playing?
What are we playing?
So this week I played Mono Red Midrange, and I've recorded a video. I still need to edit that. I'm sure it'll be up around when this podcast goes up. And I don't think the meta is really, like, it's good against aggro decks, and right now I think we're straying away from that, so I'm kind of down on where that deck sits. Anyway, what'd you play?
I didn't have a lot of time to play Pauper this week. I ended up skipping the Tuesday night Pauper event at Oasis to go draft Guilds of Ravnica because I made a decision that I was going to go play a sealed PPTQ this Sunday, so yesterday, and I had never ever played with Guilds of Ravnica cards outside of the one pre-release I did. So I figured, I'll go get a draft in. So I went and drafted on Tuesday night, did a draft on Friday night, and I did a sealed on Magic Online, but I still made some time to play a bit of Pauper, and I played I just played one league with elves.
Speaking of sealed, I have my work buddy constantly trying to convince me to go to I think it's GP Vancouver. It's just like, come to Canada like every day. And right now, I don't think that's a good idea.
Vancouver? Is that the one that the new Super Masters, Ultimate Masters is going to be for?
It is. And I've never been to another country. Like, I've never even been across the Mississippi. So
yeah, I don't know, is a month enough? Like, isn't that in just like a month?
I could do it. Like, I have enough money and I have enough PTO. I could get a passport, I bet. But I'm just not that big on playing sealed, and I don't know. Yeah. I want to use my PTO on other things, so I don't think I'm going to go to that. But I'm getting beat over the head with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has a free invite, so
yeah,
he's got his Channel Fireball. Sorry, our modern tournament fell apart. Here's your entry into anything. So
yeah, and he's going with like 3 other people with golden tickets, and he's just like, you should come.
They kind of just like won the lottery. Like this set is so expensive normally, right? Like it's like $15 a pack. Like,
well, with
I don't even know how expensive the sealed GP entry is without a golden ticket. It's probably stupid expensive. Like
if they're driving,
like $dollars.
If they did the math, they're driving. They got a super cheap Airbnb. It's $100 per person to go. They have a golden ticket, and just from opening their packs, they're probably going to cover their cost. So, like, it's kind of a no-brainer for them.
Well, right, and that's what I mean. But if you didn't have a golden ticket and had to just pay for the GP, a normal sealed GP is like $80.
Yeah.
For a normal sealed GP, not the super ultimate Masters edition set, right? Like, that's going to be expensive. AF.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. Since we have sort of a bigger main topic and there's a lot of stuff to unpack here, we are going to skip card of the week, and we're just going to go into this main topic, and that's going to be this announcement from Wizards of the Coast.
Main topic.
The announcement was for format focus events. What this means is you play your format all the way to the Pro Tour. Players will receive FP or format points. We're just going to say FPs for the sake of not having to say format points 1,000 times, by playing in leagues or challenges. The FPs are specific to the format you earned them playing. The FPs make you eligible to enter the format playoffs of the FPs that you received. So Pauper FPs are for the Pauper playoffs, Vintage FPs are for the Vintage playoffs, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are two main ways that you can receive these FPs. The first is competitive constructive leagues. So 5 wins give you 5 FPs, and 4 wins earn you 2. So anything under 4 wins, no points. So it's very similar to how you receive QPs.
I think it's super significant to me that these are still leagues. You can still play kind of on your own time. Like, that makes it super accessible to me. Do you know how long the leagues go? Is it just like a normal league where it's like the season, or
do you mean how long? Yeah, the leagues aren't, like, the league structure isn't changing.
Okay.
So it'll still be, their season or whatever for your trophies, or however that works. But we'll get in. We're going to get into how long your FPs last a little later. But first, the second way that you can receive these format points are through challenges. First place gets 35 FPs. Second place earns 10. Third through fourth earn 5. Fifth through 8 earn 4. 9th through 16th earn 3. 17th through 32nd place earn 2. And all other challenge participants get 1 point. So you're guaranteed at least 1 for every challenge you play in. And obviously, the better you do, the more points you earn. And if you win the whole thing, you get 35. So FPs do not expire until the very end of the year. So you can roll them over, season to season. So say say you don't have enough to play in the event right now, that's fine. I was 10 short. That's fine. I can try to get those 10 and play in the next one because mine will roll over through the end of the year. They won't expire until then.
Okay, so this might be a little bit later, but do you know when these are being implemented? Because the end of the year is pretty close.
They will be, they went over how they'll be implemented. We'll kind of get into that. Oh, I guess I can kind of talk about it now. Let me just look at the announcement really quick. Okay, so format points won't be in the system until Ravnica Allegiance, which is the next standard set. So when that releases, that's when they're going to start doing format points. So that's going to be next year anyway. So that's not going to be implemented this year at all.
Okay.
This is all going to be for the 2019 season, year, whatever. Nothing happening yet. So
it's good because I don't have to hurry and
scramble to
schedule, because I really want to do this. I want to participate in stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of what I've been waiting for. I'll admit, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to be a Pauper Pro. Wouldn't that be sweet? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I maybe one day, maybe there's a Pauper Pro Tour. I mean, we kind of had a Legacy Pro Tour. Maybe they do a mixed format Pro Tour again, where instead of Legacy they do Pauper.
Okay, but I'm not expecting a Pauper Pro Tour. I just want to get to the Pro Tour just through Pauper. That makes me a Pauper Pro.
Gotcha. But then you're fine playing standard at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, I'm fine losing at the Pro Tour. That's exactly what's going to happen if I ever make it. Unless it is modern Legacy, no sealed or draft, I'll do fine. But that's not how it's going to be set up. It's going to be for sure sealed or draft and standard or something like that, and maybe Pauper.
There has been a lot of talk about removing limited from Pro Tours and doing something separate with them, having constructed only Pro Tours, and doing something different with modern. I mean, Wizards hasn't said anything. This is just community talk of how this would be better, but you never know. You never know. So we've talked about the format points. We've talked about how you get them, challenges and leagues of your format. Let's talk about what these points are going to be used for. So the very first thing are the format playoffs. The playoffs are held once every 3 months. They will take place of the normally scheduled. I've got Cocoa Puff burps because I ate a bowl of Cocoa Puffs before we started.
Gross.
Milky, chocolatey Cocoa burps.
Milky Cocoa Puffs.
Yum. All right. So held once every 3 months, taking place of the normally scheduled weekly challenge for that format. The target for entry into the playoffs is 35 FPs. No tickets or play points are required for entry. You just need those 34 points. And there will be more enhanced payouts compared to the challenges.
So that means if you win a challenge, you have automatic entry in one of these.
Yes. You win a challenge, you are automatically entered into the next playoff.
And so you have to basically 505 leagues throughout a year.
In 3 months to qualify for one. So they're held every 3 months. So if you can do that on a 3-month basis, be playing in all of them in a year, right? You could do that. Or you could just
if you want to play in all of them.
Yeah, or you could just 505 leagues in a year and play in one a year. So, like you said, there's really not a lot of stress on the player to feel like they have to grind and grind and grind. It's on your time, on your schedule. If you just want to play in one of these playoffs a year, you've got a full year to accumulate those points. And 35, I don't think is a very high bar for entry, right? I don't think so.
It's not. It really isn't. It's a bit of participation, but yeah.
Yeah. It does require you to play, but you're playing the format that you're playing leagues in anyway.
Yeah.
Right? I jam one league a week at least. And now I'm just incentivized to make sure I get in 1 to 2, or maybe even an extra if I'm ambitious. But enhanced payout compared to the challenges, so you're going to get a lot more goodies for being qualified for this and playing in this tournament. They're going to be about the same size as a normal challenge, is sort of what Wizards is expecting, or probably less, but they're going to be bigger tournaments. It's going to be a big tournament. It's not going to be very narrow field, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think 35 is a very high bar. I think a lot of people will be able to hit that threshold very easily, especially some of the better players, some of the more, the format experts.
Yeah.
Like, I play Pauper, I play Modern. These people are going to be consistently, every 3 months, they're going to be in this tournament, and it's going to be like clockwork for them.
I'm just thinking that, so they're giving out these points on top of the existing league stuff, right?
Yes.
Like if you go, okay.
Yeah. So if you go 5-0, it's like if you play a competitive league in another format, you get QPs, qualifier points for the mocks. And I believe you still get QPs. You just also get FPs. So you can either take the normal mocks road, which is like qualify for the mocks preliminary or whatever, and then if you top 8 that, you get to go play in the mocks. Or you can take the format path where I'm just playing Pauper leagues and challenges, trying to get to the format playoffs and then the format championships.
But since it's just gravy like that, like just on top, it makes it easier to go infinite a little bit, doesn't it? Like if you're getting the same amount that you were getting before, and then every 3 months you can cash in 35 of your format points for this tournament with great prize payout, like that makes it way easier, and you don't have to enter anything else. Yeah. No,
Wizards is basically just rewarding us for playing the formats we love. They're saying they're appealing to people like me and you who would love nothing more to play on a Pro Tour. I play formats that I cannot stand just for the chance of qualifying for an RPTQ, so I can maybe have a chance to qualify for a Pro Tour. Like, I've just grinded through modern PPTQs to try to get to RPTQs so I could go play a crappy sealed format, so I could maybe get to the Pro Tour. Now I can do it playing Pauper? Like, Wizards is just saying, "Oh, you want to live your dream? Here. Do it the way you want to. Do it your favorite way. Like, go play Pauper."
That's because I basically, like, early on, I realized, like, I knew that I didn't like sealed and draft that much, and I knew that to get on the Pro Tour, I would have to play both of those formats. And kind of the way my Magic life has gone is I stopped focusing on trying to qualify for those things and be good that way, and I wanted to be more of an entertainer, because I saw that as more of a way that I could get the same kind of renown, actually get paid for playing the game, all of the same things the Pro Tour has, except I just want it to be more fun. And like, this is just like, no, you can do both now. Like, this is exactly what I've always wanted. Like, I don't know if making Magic Arena and kind of just giving away cards that way, like, they're not so like clutching their cards and being like, no, you have to pay for these. They're kind of loosening it up and just being like, no, play the game. And that it's like, finally, like, we're on the same page for like, Wizards is knocking it out of the park in these past couple months.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, we're just being rewarded for playing Magic. Literally, that's what this is. And this is awesome. Like, and the thing is, like, I love to play limited. Drafting is one of my favorite things to do. Like, actual just in a draft, sitting drafting. I love drafting. But sometimes limited formats are really bad. Like, Corset 15? No, not Corset. Corset 15 was bad because if you didn't get a triplicate spirits, you lost to the person who had triplicate spirits. So that wasn't a great format, but like Origins, Magic Origins, I think it was. That was just the format where it was just like you have to play a 2-drop on turn 2. If you don't play a 2-drop on turn 2, like your win percentage is just gone. And it was just that format, and there was no play to it. It was just play your guys attack, and then your opponent attacks you, and then you attack them, and it's kind of and sometimes you just get those bad formats. Or like Modern. I really don't enjoy playing Modern, but when like Modern PPTQ season comes around, I kind of feel like, well, I'm going to miss a huge opportunity by just skipping an entire season because I don't want to play Modern because it's a horrible experience.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can just suck it up and grind. And then that just is not like, that just makes Magic feel like a job, like a chore. Like I wake up and I'm just like, oh, I gotta go to this PTQ. This sucks.
Like, oh no, it's Saturday.
Yeah, like, and that's not how it should feel. I should wake up and be excited that I'm going to play in a Magic tournament that could lead me to the Pro Tour, that could lead me to like my dream of making it to that highest level. Mm-hmm. That's how it should be, and that's what this is going to be.
Yeah,
this is just incredible. But
I mean, you're still probably going to end up going to those same things, those same events,
mm-hmm.
and still playing that other stuff. But now there's also this.
Right. If someone can get to the Pro Tour just by playing Pauper, I will play whatever limited format, whatever standard format they ask me to play. And sometimes, like now, for instance, standard could just be really, really fun. And it's just like gravy. Like I played Pauper to get to the Pro Tour, and then I got to play a sweet standard format.
Yeah.
Win-win. And I think that more often than not, standard isn't like atrociously bad, right? Like,
I don't know. I haven't even looked at it for years.
That's that's true. Anyway, that was kind of a big tangent, but last point about the format playoffs: the top 8 of the playoff will earn the invite to play in the format championship. The format championships are 32-player events, 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 8. So that's basically a 3-1-1 record. You're in. Probably a couple 3-2 records make it in. Like 1 or 2, I think. I don't know. I haven't done the math. But that should be about close. Maybe 1. Probably just 1, actually. I don't know. Anyway. So that's the format championship. That's how you get in. 32 players, 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 8. The prize payout for the format championship is huge. It's huge. It's so huge.
Oh, no.
It's going to be huge.
I'm so uncomfortable.
So this is I'm just going to read the minimum prize payout that you can get from being in this tournament.
Okay.
And this is just from being in the tournament. Like, I'm one of the 32 players. You get a minimum of 8 draft sets of boosters. So 8 times 3 is 24. So you get 24 packs.
Okay. 200
play points. Just for being one of the 32 players. You can go 0-5. That's what you get.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I'll be Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's a lot better
I'll be Owen Wilson. Okay, sorry. I'll just be Brandon. How about that? I'll just be.
Yeah. I'll be Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Okay, and then you get a format championship avatar.
Yeah. So these are kind of cool. So they're untradeable. They're unique to the championships, and they use an iconic card of the format. So they're sort of like this cool thing that says when you're playing in your leagues and you're playing, people see that and go, damn, Daniel, this guy, Lobert 8, was in the format championship.
Look about at that to get smoked.
And smoked!
And then down comes, like, tap land. And then they're like, And
then he goes, Forrest, you gain 4 life. Make a 2-2. And they go, what the crap?
I'm about to get smoked, and I won't even know what's happening.
Yeah. So those are the minimum prizes. This is what you get for just being one of the 32 players in this tournament. You know what? Yeah, let's just go through the entire payout for everyone because there's a ton of stuff. I'm gonna pull it up really quick. This is a lot, so get ready. First place, 1,000 play points, 1 premium Magic online set, 4 regular Magic Online sets, and this is of any standard legal set of the time. You get 4 sets. So you get a play set of every card in that set, and then you get 1 set of foil premium.
Jeez.
So, yeah. And that's in addition to your 1,000 play points. 144 Magic Online boosters, the Format Champion title, a Format Championship avatar, an invitation to the MOCs, the Magic Online Championships. And this one is sort of, I don't know why they threw this one in here. It's kind of like whatever after all this other stuff. But an invitation to the upcoming Pro Tour event.
Yeah, whatevs.
So that's first place. Fourth place, you get 4 regular Magic Online sets. So you get a play set of 1 standard set.
That's ridiculous.
You don't get a foil set.
You don't get the foil set, but
yeah, 132 Magic boosters as opposed to 144. 700 play points and the championship avatar. Third place, you get 3 regular Magic Online sets, 120 boosters, 500 play points, the avatar. I'm not going to say the avatar anymore. Everyone gets the avatar.
Yeah.
That's third through fourth place. Fifth through eighth place, 2 regular Magic Online sets, 72 boosters, 400 play points. 9th through 16th, 1 Magic Online set, 24 boosters, 300 play points. And 17th through 32, you get 24 boosters, 200 play points. So, yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, to get to the Format Championship, you have to top 8 a Format Playoff. And those are supposed to be pretty large tournaments. So, like, you have to really earn your way onto that Format Championship. But
I would imagine that the playoff will be slightly smaller than a challenge.
Because it takes
there is a threshold of you needing to qualify.
Okay.
And it's not just something where you can just wake up and I'm going to play a challenge.
Yeah.
You've got to be qualified. So I imagine they might be slightly smaller. I also just wouldn't be surprised if they were roughly the same size. But
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
I'm guessing they're going to be close to the same size, but I'm going to take the under on it. I'm not going to think that they're going to be bigger than a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to be like marking the date on their calendar and circling it with a little heart and just like taking PTO. Like, if I qualify for one of these, I do work every Sunday, so I would have to take PTO, but I would.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I would not miss the chance to play in one of these tournaments. I can actually go back and look at what you get for playing in the playoff because I didn't really cover it. I just said the enhanced payout compared to the challenge. So let's talk about what you get for playing in the playoff, which again, to qualify for the playoff, it's 35 FPs and they're once every 3 months and your FPs roll over throughout the whole year. So you can save them up. You don't have to, you're not going to lose out if you miss this window. You've got another 3 months. My Cocoa Puff burps are back.
You could do 4 in a year, but
you could do 4 in a year. You could do 2 in a year. You could do 1 in a year. It's really, it's on your schedule. It's on your time, however you can do it. So I think that's one of the coolest parts about this, is you don't have to feel like I've got to grind and grind and grind to try to get one of these tournaments. It's like, I've got a year to qualify for a playoff. I'm not really interested in making it to the Pro Tour. If I could get to the championship, that would be sweet. And I just want to play in one of these playoffs, like one playoff a year. Like that, you could just totally do that.
Yeah.
That's great. So, here we go. Here, format playoffs can have up to 384 players. So there's your cap. Easy.
Yeah, up to, but
so
yeah, that doesn't really
just the size of like a Grand Prix in the 90s.
The 90s. That's funny.
That's how big they were, like 400 players. Or I
Where
guess
do you
early,
get that
early
knowledge?
2000s.
Weren't you just like
Players who played GPs during that time and talked about it. How it was like
Okay.
it was like 400 players, so it was a lot easier to win a GP. Now it's like 3,000 players, and it's really hard to win a GP.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was just
Anyway.
like, are you just like sitting up on a Saturday night, like, nah, go to bed, wife. I'm looking up how many players were in a Grand Prix in 1995.
I need to know the number of players at GP Chicago in 1998. I don't even know if there was a GP Chicago in 1998.
But Brandon, the baby's crying.
I'm not going to say it. Anyway.
Good. Whatever you were gonna say, not
I
good.
was gonna make a bad sexist joke, which is
Okay. Yeah.
I take equal amount of care of my child. Just for everyone out there, if you were thinking about Colin,
Yeah, where's he right now?
he's with my wife. He's with my wife. I told them to leave so I could talk about magic cards.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. Where were we? Okay. So the format playoffs will be run with Swiss pairing. The number of rounds will be based on attendance. So following the Swiss rounds, cut to top 8. First place, 700 play points, 150 treasure chests, and an invitation to the championships. Well, top 8 is going to get the invitation, so I'm not going to read that. So second place, 500 play points, 100 treasure chests. Third through fourth, 400 play points, 50 treasure chests. Fifth through 8, 300 play points, 30 treasure chests. And top 8 all get that invitation to the championships. 9th through 16th, 200 play points, 20 chests. 17th through 32nd, 100 play points, 50 chests. 33rd through 64th, 50 play points, 10 treasure chests. That's a lot of cheddar.
Did you mention the cap on the format points?
I don't believe there's a cap. They cap at the end of the year, or they don't cap, but they don't roll over through the year. But I don't know that there's a limit on how many you can earn in a year. It just won't make a difference. There's only 4 tournaments. So if I earn 5 playoffs worth of points, I'm only going to redeem 4, and then the other 35 are going to disappear into the void. Actually, so this is the way it's worded. So as with mocks, QPs, the target is 35. So if you win one of the weekly format challenges, you're all set. FPs don't expire until the end of the year. So if you don't get 35 by the time the first format playoff rolls around, you can finish up by the next one or the one after that. So it doesn't sound like there is a cap. It sounds like you just acquire them, and then when the format playoff rolls around, you just redeem 35, and then everything else that you still have left is accumulating until the next one. Because honestly, I don't see why there would need to be a cap. If someone wants to go and earn 200 format points, I guess
in the first 3 months, and then just like gloat for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and they're not even going to redeem all of those points anyway, because there's not enough tournaments to redeem all the points, and then you just lose them at the end of the year anyway. So either way, it doesn't matter. I guess like if you hit your 35, I guess the only way it would matter is if you hit your 35 really early and then have like a month before the playoff where you could be accumulating more to roll over to the next playoff.
Yeah.
That would be the only way it would really make a big difference. Or if you just have to start new, like you can't get more than 35 and then you've got to start fresh after you redeem your 35. But it doesn't sound like that's the way it is. So, and I don't think that's how it works with QPs. I don't really know because I've never really played.
Yeah, this is
constructed. Like I've played a couple competitive constructed leagues in Modern with Storm when I'm bored.
Yeah.
But this was like a year ago was the last time I probably played one. And I think I had like 2 QPs or something at one point. And I just didn't care about them because it was just like, I just kind of want to kill someone with Storm and I go play or whatever. But so I really honestly just don't know because I've never tried to grind QPs before. And these are going to be the same structure as QPs.
Yeah, if we get more information, it will be on the podcast.
So that's the format focus events, the format playoffs and the format championships. I think I said it, but it's through competitive constructed leagues only. But oh no, Pauper is only friendly. Oh. Well, Wizards thought of that. They will now, starting November 14th, be offering competitive Pauper leagues alongside friendly leagues. These leagues will have the same structure as other competitive leagues, including they will provide QPs. So you can use Pauper to qualify for the mocks using qualifier points as well as format points. So you can kind of take either one of the paths available.
That's nuts.
So, and then starting December 2nd will include FPs as well. So it sounds like December 2nd is when we're going to start being able to acquire FPs, and they're going to probably roll over until we get to the next thing. You know, they're probably not ending the year at like January or December 31st. It's the new year. It's probably going to be on a different, calendar. So
on the 14th, we'll get our competitive leagues. And so that should already be out by the time this podcast is out. And then December 2nd, you can get those format points. And that's when we all really need to start playing some Pauper, right? Get ready beforehand, I guess, too. But that's when I'm going to start going hard, I think.
Yeah. So the other part of the announcement here is Wizards wanted to be very clear that for Pauper specifically, this is a test to see if both leagues can exist together. If we can have competitive leagues and friendly leagues, and they're both going to get enough support. You know, it's not like I'm in a competitive league and it's taking 8 minutes to find a pairing, or I'm in a friendly league and same thing, So WotC is going to monitor the participation. And if the format cannot support 2 healthy leagues, WotC will retire the friendly leagues.
Is the competitive league, is it a different pricing structure? Like, is it more expensive to enter a competitive league?
I believe so.
Okay. Because, like, if it was the same or similar, I just see this killing the friendly league.
Mm-hmm.
But, and like, it's cool that the way they worded this wasn't like, if we can get enough participation, then we're going to keep doing this. It's like, we believe there's going to be enough participation. We don't know if there's going to be enough participation to keep this friendly league going as well. So, like, this is just a thing, period. It being a competitive format is not going away. I'm so excited.
And so that kind of leads me to a few questions that I want to ask you and get your opinion on. I think I know the answer, but maybe you can go a little more in depth. But is going competitive a net positive for the format as a whole?
So there are negatives, but I do think it's a net positive for sure.
Okay, what kind of negatives are we seeing?
I
guess a lot of people that I've seen have kind of felt like we're alienating the casual Pauper community, which, I mean, Pauper is a casual format right now, and well, that's just, I think, in part largely to the fact that there's no competitive outlet. But the backbone of this format are casual players, right? And do you think that's because there are a lot of people like you and I who just don't have a competitive outlet to play Pauper? Or do you think it's because these people are actively choosing to play a casual format, and shifting it to competitive is going to kind of push them away?
I don't think that that's going to happen at all. I think the casual community is fine. They have, even if the friendly leagues go away, the tournament practice room is the friendliest place you could be. Like, I don't know.
I've met some real characters in tournament practice.
Of course, but like, I've been playing tabletop Magic and like
also have met some real characters.
I've never told you some of the stories of me playing with this casual group. I think I've told you the story where I insisted that we trade for value and not rarity, like 7 or 8 times, and they would not have it. And like I traded like this crappy like $3 Gideon for a Karn, and I was like, I need your Karn really bad, and he's like, okay, I want that, and I was just like, and he's like, no, that's good, and I was like, I handed him like a pile of cards and was like, you need to take something. You could take all of that. And he's like, no, man. Same group, like we're playing casually, and we're playing in a free for all. And like turn 2, turn 1, I look at my hand and I'm like, okay, everyone try to kill me, because I built like Modern Affinity at the time. These guys were just like jank, casual, like insisting I play with them with my good deck, and like I was playing with them and like they kept on insisting that I play and like be serious, and then like this guy was getting pissed, like standing up, and I like had to like, I don't know, flex on him. I don't know, just like show him that I'm 6'1" and like 250 pounds. Like,
I just imagine like a person like me, like my size, you know, like, and I'm not a small person, I'm average, but like, I just imagine someone like me or smaller with just little guys, tough man syndrome, just, bro, and then Sean, you know, it's kind of like that scene in the Lord of the Rings where Bilbo's like, you want to steal the ring? And Gandalf's like, Bilbo Baggins, and all of a sudden he's like 100 feet tall and there's just thunder clouds looming. That's what I'm envisioning. Sean is just like on this guy, Bilbo Baggins.
That's what I kind of felt like I had to do, because like he was getting mad, and like he's just one of those gamers, like it didn't matter what he played. Like I don't play Madden, but like, yeah, if he plays Madden and he loses, like just like throws the controller across the room, like breaks stuff, like. And we were playing Magic, and like there's no way I could lose to a guy like that. And so you know, I was kind of like being sheepish and like, I'm sorry, and I think that was pissing him off more, because I was like, I don't want to hurt you.
Oh, and you were kind of pitying him, or
yeah, like
patronizing him.
That's kind of how I think that's what like kind of started the fight, is like, you know, how can you not be when someone's just like on a different level bad, and you don't know what to do. Like I could mulligan to 4 and beat this guy consistently if I wanted. And I don't think that those casual people have anything to do with the competitive scene, and the competitive scene popping up, like I don't think that's an argument.
I guess my question though is, do you think those people are playing Pauper online right now and moving towards casual? Do you think that's going to push them away?
No, because I think that the tournament practice room is there for that, and like, and yeah, there's those those salty people in that tournament practice room, but there's still like, if you like, I've recorded my games in the tournament practice room, and the caliber of deck, the cards in the deck are just at a way more casual level than even the friendly league. And yeah, you bump that up a little bit with competitive leagues. I don't think that those people are like, oh, now I can't play a friendly league. Like, that's
like at the end of the day, when you do think about leagues,
yeah,
in Pauper, they are incredibly competitive.
They are, and like, I think they're already there.
Where we've been able to actually create a power rankings system and monitor the success of a meta of decks. So I guess you're right. Like, I think that my question wasn't so much, is Pauper competitive? Because it is. But is it moving towards an area where it's becoming like standard, where people are playing this format to get to the next level? Whereas a lot of the people in the format right now are probably just content with not having to deal with tournament spikes, if that makes sense.
I just don't think that a person who is casual is even entering a friendly league, and changing the league structure doesn't affect that person anyway. So
yeah,
like it maybe getting a whole bunch of new people interested in the format who are like competitive might, like, you know, occupy more space and make them a smaller percentage of the format. But they're also occupying a space over there in the league. Like, if someone actually is interested in like joining the format because they think that they can spike a tournament, they're going to be playing a tournament and not be playing in the tournament practice room. And I think that's where the casual people are. It's that, or they're watching casual fun brews on YouTube, and like that's not going to change at all.
Yeah. Okay. I think I kind of agree with you. And maybe this is a horrible thing for me to say, but I also kind of think that, like, it might push a few people out of the format, but I don't care, because this is not that I don't like care that like someone can't play Magic the way they want to anymore, because like that does suck for that person, but like it's like one of these sacrifice the few for the many kind of a things. Like I just see this overall as a net positive for the format. And if a few people feel like, oh, I'm being alienated and pushed out of my format now by all the competitive spikes, it's like, I guess that's bad. That sucks. That sucks for you, and I'm sorry. But overall, I think this is going to be a net positive for the format.
The biggest negative that I see maybe happening is just that there's so many new eyes and new players coming into the format that don't really understand it. And I think we're going to have some of the toxic elements of people being competitive introduced here that weren't before. And so those new people who don't understand or are trying to be too competitive and they're salty, we're going to hear from those people. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've heard more from Pauper players now currently than I have from playing other. And I've definitely played a lot more Pauper leagues than I have of any other format online. But I don't know. I feel like I personally feel that the majority of the competitive spikes, they're the players who won't even talk to you outside of a GG or a GL. Match begins, GL. Match ends, GG. That's all you get.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the vast majority of spikes. These cutthroat players, they're just there to play their game and get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I found that it's a lot. I found that the majority of the time where I'm getting like grief from my opponent, it's people who are playing some wild brew. And they're just like, like Mr. Pyroblast, who was mad at me because I could afford Pyroblasts and was dogging me in the comments because I had Pyroblast in my deck. I don't ever get that from someone who's playing I wouldn't have gotten that if he was playing Boros Monarch.
Yeah, but I don't think it's in the game that they're gonna like that most of the changes are gonna happen. Like I think two players playing on Magic Online is basically gonna be the same. What I see changing is the Reddit and the comment sections of videos, like places where there are more people talking more.
Okay, yeah, and I think I can get that. You see that a lot in the competitive burn Facebook group. I'm a member of that group because at one point I just joined all the Facebook groups I could find when I was just really entrenched in tournament Magic and grinding, because I just wanted to know all the perspectives of all the decks. And since then I've left a lot of them, that I just don't care about. Like I just don't care about what the Valakut group has to say about Valakut decks or whatever, but I stayed in the burn group because it's funny. And you get that because you get a lot of the more casual burn players who, hey, I just picked up this deck. I've never played Modern before. I can't afford Goblin Guides. This is my deck list. And you get, play the stock list, get Goblin Guides, cut the crap out of this deck. Like, you're not ready to play competitive Magic yet. Like, but just this. And so I can see that where you get that really toxic, better, holier than thou on my high horse attitude.
Yeah.
And so I think that, like, the best thing for Pauper going right now is some of the biggest names in the format. Like, think about some of the people we have advocating the format. We've got the guys at Color Commentary. We've got we've got Alex Ullman. These are all very positive influences on the Magic community that are also very competitive Pauper players. The Maverick Girl is another one that comes to mind. What's her real name? Kendra Smith, I think.
Yeah.
she's got an incredible influence on the Magic community, and she's also just not a horrible person. So, I think that we have a lot of that in Pauper, and so I kind of hope that for the most part we can take those new players who are coming in with their brews and with their new ideas and help them like understand and maybe even learn something from them as well, because I think we said this last week, but like I think that no matter who they are, what level they are, you can learn something from them. And so to take their ideas and just outright throw them in the gutter is definitely the wrong approach.
Or like when someone says, I'm on a budget, I need to do this, give me a solution, and you just throw at them like, make more money, like
go get a better job.
Like, I think that the faces of the format, the faces of the community can really help shape what the community looks like. Like, if I could tell our fan base anything, is like, if someone says they don't have enough money for a card, give them an alternative. Like, like you could spend like a second being like, like, you do understand that this is a really good thing and you're going to get it eventually, right? But I'll help you. Like, maybe instead of Pyroblast, you play Dispel, or I don't know. That's more Hydroblast territory, but whatever.
Yeah. I think that's what needs to, I think that's what will happen. I hope that won't be the outlier. I hope that it's not going to be Reddit is just going to be a mass of trolls and just toxic behavior. It's going to be a lot of positive influence, positive conversations with obviously the occasional troll, because it's the internet. We're never going to stop that. People are going to say horrible things. We can't stop that. But what we can all do is try to make sure that that's the outlier, that's what's happening every once in a while, that some troll comes in and we all understand that he's just a miserable troll that needs to get a life, And I think that that's what can happen with the format. And so, I guess kind of like Sean said, what our listeners can take away, what our fan base can take away from this is be that influence for good. And that's what's going to make this work.
Because we are going to see an influx in our population.
Yes.
Like, there's going to be a lot more Pauper players now that, like, it's a competitive thing.
And I think this is going to be a big one to understand. And this doesn't apply to everyone, for sure, because there are some incredible players that play exclusively this format. I think of some like online names like Budakov come to mind, who's just consistently top 8ing challenges. Players like that. We have incredible players, but for the most part, we've got a lot of mediocre players, average players. I put myself in that camp. And I know that a lot of times, I see this in Modern a lot, where I've been playing this deck for 3 years. I think about the Storm group on Facebook. They were upset that John Finkel didn't consult them about his Storm deck at the Pro Tour. Get out of here. John Finkel doesn't even know, for one, the Storm group exists on Facebook. And for two, he doesn't care about your opinions. He's John Finkel. If John Finkel builds his Storm deck away, even if you don't understand it, you just need to accept that he had some really good reasons for doing it. So that's my thing for Pauper players. We're going to get this influx of players. A lot of them are going to be better Magic players than us. Maybe they're not better at the format because we've been playing it for so long. Yeah. But they're probably going to be a better player than we are. So don't, possible, don't get offended. Don't get upset when they don't, when you feel like you're being pushed out. Like, try to, I think, like, we all just need to learn from each other, right? Try to learn from them, and they can take things from us. And that's what's just going to make our community grow. Yeah. And just better.
The fact that someone hasn't been playing a format has, like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, because, like, there are some amazing players. The guy that I bring this up over and over because, pain gives you the most vivid memories. The guy who beat me at the top 8 of the Pauper tournament in GP Vegas, it was his first time playing Pauper, his first time playing Scred Delver.
Yeah,
he played it masterfully.
He literally picked up the deck, entered the championships.
Yeah.
And I don't be offended by this, but I think it's safe to say that he thoroughly outplayed you. Like, he was on another level. Like, his sideboard strategy. No, I think he did.
He did everything right, but like, I played the match and I know that most of the things in there were like, just this is how the cards play themselves. Like, he played them correctly, but that's all I can say is like he did play it correctly. I don't want to say that like I was amazed the whole time, but like,
I don't know.
He was just a really good player, and it was just
pretty
like,
amazed when you talked to me about it after the match, and you're just like, "This is what he did in his sideboard plan," and it just was like, it just crushed you.
I mean, like, the one thing is that he left in all of the burn so that he could, you know, have it when I went to like Tendrils of Corruption as creature, and like left in all of the bolts and all of the screds, and I was like, why? I wouldn't have done that, but I guess
he, like,
there's not that.
Didn't he board out like his spell stutter sprites and stuff so that you just didn't have good targets or something like that?
Oh, that was a different guy completely. That was the guy that like I played against. I think it was the next day.
Oh, okay. See, I guess that's what I was thinking of.
No, like that guy was playing like a mono blue deck with. He cut the fairies package completely, didn't have ninja, and it was just like Delver, Spire Golem, Stormbound Geist. That was like his creature package, and I was just like, I can't beat that deck.
Okay,
and that's what I was amazed
I think
at.
I'm mixing up those two stories.
Okay, because like with the Scred Delver list, like it doesn't have enough sideboard cards to even cut all of the burn.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like what I'm just trying to say with that story is that like these people know how to play the game, and like don't discount their opinions because you've been playing the format for 6 years or whatever. Like last week, or was it the week before, we were like telling our listeners like learn from people who know less than you, because like that's about what's gonna happen. There's gonna be this influx of people who kind of know less, but they just, their game theory and strategy is just on point, and they're gonna pick it up and be better than a lot of us.
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously the extreme, but Luis Scott Vargas has never played a game of Pauper in his life. He picked up Tribe Combo, and for that month completely changed the meta because everyone was like, this deck is insane. No, Luis Scott Vargas is just a stone cold master.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
what it was.
That I don't know, that makes me think of kind of like one of the another of the possible negatives that could happen from like a Pauper Pro Tour or something like that, is that people think that, you know, okay, well, Scred Delver was 3 or 4 the or maybe it was like 7 of the top 8. Well, that's just because all of the pros know that it's probably the best deck, and then like you have the competitive community jumping in like that.
I definitely don't agree with that, because, well, I'm just going to use this last Pro Tour as an example. 6 of the 8 were mono white decks in the top 8. But that is in no way indicative of what that format is. Pro Tour metagames are just a whole different ball game than what you could expect at a GP or in a league. And to think that, okay, Scred Delver was the only deck at this Pro Tour. Well, that's probably just because they realized that this was the deck for the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
And if you just tried to game against Scred Delver, like, I'm just going to make a deck that Scred Delver can't beat, you're going to get smashed by a lot of stuff before you ever play against Scred Delver.
Yeah.
And that's because the formats, one, I think that Pauper in particular, and oftentimes a lot of other formats, are self-correcting. And so when one extreme happens, something balances it back out. And then that becomes the extreme, and then something else comes and balances that again. And so the formats are constantly self-correcting. And the biggest one is just that Pro Tour metas are just a whole different ballgame. They're just very different.
I mean, you understand that, and I understand that, but what I'm saying is like...
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and that's why I'm saying that.
The influx of players that I think we're going to hear from being like, bah! Like, That might be net
I
negative.
mean, we're definitely going to have noise. Like,
yeah.
And I don't think we have a lot of noise in the Pauper community right now because it's not very large. But yeah, when we do get in there, we're going to have that noise. We're going to have ban Gush, ban Brainstorm, ban Delver of Secrets, ban. And you've just got to filter out the noise and understand that Magic players at their core, the majority of us are just bumbling idiots. And that's a Pro Tour metagame is in no way indicative of what an actual metagame looks like. And a lot of players understand this, and a lot of the high-level players understand this. And those are the players who are just going to be quietly crushing tournaments.
I mean, guess that's... maybe I'm just complaining that, oh no, we're going to have a competitive discussion. And like when you have a competitive discussion, those people who have stupid opinions pipe up.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like shaming everyone who has a stupid opinion, because I have gone on Reddit and said really stupid things, and hopefully no one remembers what they are.
Well, and I think we can bring this full circle again, because I've definitely said stupid things. I've definitely had bad opinions that were wrong, 100% wrong. But I think what's important is that, one, you're open to changing your opinion and learning.
Yeah.
And correcting it. And two, don't throw your opinion out there like that's what it is. Like, no, you're wrong, this. Don't do that. Come out and say, this is what I think. This is my assessment. Take the constructive feedback, and hopefully you get constructive feedback and it doesn't turn into the burn Facebook group. You dumb noob. You're not ready to play competitive burn. Hopefully that's not going to happen. But I think that's... Always be open for feedback, but don't present your opinions in a way that's like, this is 100% true. Don't be the guy in the meme sitting with his arms folded cross-legged in the chair with a sign that says, Delver of Secrets should be banned. Change my mind. You can't change my mind. Don't be the meme, right?
Yeah.
So...
But like, we did just discuss like the possible negatives, but like keep in mind that for 45 minutes we just talked about how awesome this is going to be. This is going to be freaking amazing. Like, we're in for a happy, fun, exciting ride with this whole thing. This is what we've all been waiting for. It's happening. Bernie Sanders waving his hands gif. It's happening.
I'm uncomfortable.
You're one to talk. That wasn't even Bernie Sanders, was it?
Waving his hands meme?
Oh,
I don't actually honestly even know. I don't know.
I forgot his name. No. Hold on.
The competitive players! They're like big banks! That's my Bernie Sanders impersonation. He does this with his finger, and he says, big banks! It's the big banks!
Okay, it's Ron Paul. I'm sorry. Like, they're the same really person. Okay. Anyway, politics has come up like not politics, but political figures.
We don't talk about two forbidden topics: politics and Hearthstone. I stole that from the Commanderin podcast, so I'm gonna give credit to them for that. But I thought that was funny because I brought up Hearthstone earlier. So everything's come full circle.
All right, and at the end of the circle, there's a little triangle, and that is end times.
End times.
So thank you guys so much for listening to the show. That was Common Knowledge episode 46. A lot of stuff to unpack. I recommend going and reading through this announcement because there's a ton of information in there. Really exciting stuff. Really, really exciting stuff. You can support the show at Patreon. We do have a Patreon, so patreon.com/common knowledge. There you'll be able to see the graph that Sean keeps up to date with all our power rankings. You'll be able to see the ebbs and the flows of all the decks throughout the months. Also, and that's exclusive to everybody. That's just there on the Patreon page, right?
Exclusive to everybody means anyone can look at it. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
And then exclusive to not everybody, but to patrons of any level, any dollar amount.
Okay.
You can have access to the Common Coliseum videos where Sean will beat my pants off with some weird brew and I'll yell at my monitor and rage quit. So good times to be had by all. And we're still pushing to that stretch goal for that 5-card blind tournament. We're really excited about it, and we really, really want it to happen.
Competitive 5-card blind tournaments coming next. Heard it here first.
5-card blind GPs. Oh gosh.
No one shows up. They just, oh gosh, get out of here.
Another big way to support us, and in my opinion, one of the biggest ways to support us outside of just listening to the show. Go to YouTube, to the Constructed Criticism page, give it a like, give it a subscribe, watch their videos. There's tons of awesome content. I harped on this last week, but I mean, come on. Seth freaking Manfield is going to be one of the hosts. This is
harping
huge.
on it too much.
This is huge. Have any questions or comments, you can email us at commonknowledgemtg@gmail.com. And
tell us what you think might be a pitfall of Pauper going competitive. I want to hear what other people have to say.
Yeah, let's turn this conversation over to the listeners. Let us know how you feel about this. Is it good? Is it bad? What do you think? Let us know. We want to know. Don't forget to support our wonderful sponsors, and huge thank you to them, puremtgo.com. Check them out for articles, deck lists, podcasts, all sorts of great stuff. And, of course, inkgaming.com. They've got a ton of great merchandise, playmats, sleeves, binders, all sorts of cool stuff. Use coupon code CCMTG10 at checkout to get 10% off and kick a little bit back towards our network. So get cool swag, support this podcast network, help us keep making great content. Where to find us will be the lastly thing. The most lastliest thing we say is where I can be found. I can be found on the Twitter at I guess you can find me at CK Podcast MTG. That's the show.
The podcasts. Yeah.
The podcast. But specifically me, you can find me at bclark_CK, where you will hear me talk about Pauper things, and every once in a while I'll tell you about my exploits in other formats.
You can find me at Lobert8 on Twitter, and you can search Lobert to find my YouTube. If you search that in YouTube, who knew? We have a Facebook group. Just search for Common Knowledge, and we're the one that talks about magic and magic cards, And that's it.
Bye
Say
forever.
Brandon. Good job.